Hey, it's David. We're talking about evaluating your progress in the integrated learning system. So we've gone through the 8 different abilities that you need to develop when learning English. And as you go along, it's important to evaluate your progress, because oftentimes this is what frustrates students and causes them to give up and stop studying. Not because they're not progressing, but because they don't see their progress. They're not able to observe their development. And this is extremely important because when you notice that you're developing, you seek progress, that motivates you to study even more. In the beginning, it's really easy because if one day you learn 10 words and the next day you learn 10 words, you just doubled the amount of English words that you knew. But if you know 1,000 or 5,000 words as you advance and you learn 10 words, what's that compared to all the words you already know? It seems so small, like an insignificant amount. And I think this is why so often students stop studying and trying to improve their English, because it seems like such a big goal, such an impossible task, that they get frustrated and give up, especially when they get into the intermediate levels where they've learned a little, they're able to communicate, but they don't see how they're going to develop fluency. So it's extremely important that, one, that you have clear goals that you're shooting for. 2, that you have a plan to achieve it, and that you have smaller targets that you can work towards, as in your short-term goals in reaching your final objective. But there's a few things that you can do as you are learning with the integrated learning system. And those are observe, organize, and track. So let's talk about each one here. In the first phase of observation, at the end of your study time, or at the end of each day, it's important for you to consider how you did. How do you feel that you did in working towards your goals? Did you do your best? Did you study what you needed to? Because oftentimes you can study things, but it's not really what you needed. Or oftentimes you do things that you think are kind of important, but you know deep down they're not really helping you. Like, you know there's that task you should be doing, but instead you go do something else. And you feel kind of bad about that. So if you do that once or twice, okay, no big deal. But if you do that every day, how are you going to reach your goal? So it's important to consider this each day. Did you study? If you're at level A2 and your goal is to get to B1, like mine was, and I knew that I needed to study another 100 to 120 hours to reach that goal, so every day I would track my study time. If I studied 15 minutes or an hour or even 2 or 3 hours, every day I would mark that down and consider how much of that study time was really beneficial. Was I really studying? And then at the end of the week, I could look and see, okay, this week I studied 10 hours or I studied 15 hours. So I knew I was getting closer to my goal. And then I could take quizzes to test my level. So when I finally reached level B1, I was pretty excited. And I knew I was getting close. It took me a little bit longer than I expected, but I kept pushing towards that goal of reaching level B1. So that's the first part of observing, just asking yourself how you did. Did you do your best? Number 2, what areas do you still need to focus on in your English? What areas are giving you trouble? What skills are you finding hard to develop? Some students find it easy to read, but they have trouble speaking. Other students find it easy to speak, but they struggle with writing. So what about you? What areas do you need to struggle with? If it's writing, what's your problem? Is it a lack of vocabulary? Is it because you don't know how to join the words that you already learned, as in your grammar skills are weak? If you have trouble speaking, is it because you don't know how to join the words, or because you know lots of words but you don't know how to pronounce them? So if you analyze these problems, you can focus more time on developing the skills you need. It's still important to develop all of your skills, but if you focus on your weakest skills, you'll see the greatest results. So that's the second thing for you to consider. The third question is, what should you study or learn next? Each day before you begin, you can ask yourself this question. What should I learn today? What vocabulary do I need to learn? In what topic? What skills do I want to develop? Or even what interests me? And then go learn the things that you need to reach your goal. And then finally, after you do that, also observe. And then as you're observing, analyze which of those things are beneficial that you should eliminate, maintain, or increase. So if you're doing something that's beneficial, then you want to increase it and do more of it. If it's something that you're doing that's not helping you reach your goals, then you need to stop it. And if it's something that's good, but you can't do more of it, or you want to focus attention on something else, you can just maintain what you're doing. So by observing these things and analyzing what you're doing, what's working and what's not, you can focus on the things that are getting you the best results. And as you do things that get you good results continuously, you begin to form positive habits, which is extremely important for helping you reach your goals, because then you can do them automatically without even giving them much thought. So it's important each day that you observe your studies and your progress and analyze what you're doing in this way. It's important that as you study as well, you also keep yourself organized. It's important that you take notes of the things that you're learning, keep a document each day, keeping track of the things that you've been studying and learning. So later, when you want to go back and reference that information, you can find it quickly and easily. And also file the audios and the text that you're learning from. File them appropriately. You can do this by topic, or you can do it by date, whatever is easier for you. If most of your files are digital, you can organize them in folders. If they're physical, you can create an actual folder to put them in. So if you're just studying on your computer, you can track everything digitally. If you also study in a school or with a teacher and you have physical information, just make sure to keep track of those things as well. So that way, when you need to review, you can go back and review that information. If you ever have a question or doubt about something, you think, okay, I studied that at this time point, or with my teacher, or when I was studying with that specific topic, I remember it, I've got it. You just open up your folder. You open up your folder, pull it out, and review it before you forget it. So then the question is, David, where can I keep track of the things that I'm observing and the things that I'm doing? Two of the things that I've used that have helped me a lot are Simpleology. Simpleology is a goal planning site to help you set good goals, track your goals, the things that you want to do, and work towards them. It's like a to-do list of the things you need to do every day to stay on track and stay focused with your goals. I Done This is a little bit different in that you write down the things that you already did. So what I like to do is every day set my goals with Simpleology. I have my main big goal that I'm working towards. I list out all the things that I need to do to achieve that, and then I can check them off as I go. But at the end of the day, I like to review, what did I do today? What did I get done? What was beneficial? And how much time did I invest in doing that? So when I go back to track how much time I studied each week, I do that in I Done This. And then when I think of things that I need to do later or the next day, I put them in Simpleology. So there are two websites that are extremely beneficial and helpful that I use and I recommend as well. Very simple to use. Both have free versions of their system at this time, so you can sign up for a free account and use them. I think Simpleology has a paid version, and I Done This probably does too. I just use the free accounts for both. So these are websites that I use every day to keep track of the things I need to do, and then keep track of the things I already did and how much time I invested in them. So they work very nicely together, and so they work very nicely together in conjunction. It would be nice if you could do all of this in one system. If you don't want to use both, you can create to-do lists with I Done This, but I just like the way Simpleology has their major goals and focuses and the way they're set up with projects. So I find it very useful to use both of these systems at once. Okay, so just a few observations about evaluating your progress so that you can see your development, track your development, and know how you're doing. So that way you don't get frustrated and give up along the way. So if you need more help with this specifically, you can contact me. I'll be happy to help you in any way I can. So if you have any specific questions or something wasn't clear, just leave a comment below so we can talk about this in future videos. And of course, remember to subscribe as well so that you're updated automatically when we release those videos. And please feel free to share this video with your family and friends, people that want to learn English. I know they'll appreciate it, and I appreciate you helping us to spread the word. So that's it for this video. Next up, we'll talk about your integrated learning system recipe, how to develop those specific goals and abilities that you observe that you need more help with. Okay, so I'll see you then. Have a great day and bye-bye.